Alright, so this deck was built around a very simple idea. Teferi's great, so why don't we try and cast him sooner than turn 5? So we've got Teferi backed up by various mana creatures here, and then some normal counterspell things and other good Hydroid Krasis. This deck does lack cheap removal at the bottom end, but we do have some blockers here, which could be relevant. This is like pseudo removal. Let's go ahead and dive right into a set of games here. See how it feels. See if our things line up okay here. We might struggle against aggro a little bit. Notably, this is a green mid-range deck that doesn't have the Explore package present in it. We've got Growth Chamber Guardian and Incubation Druid as our 2-drops. Why do you feel like we need ooze? What problem do you envision this deck has that you're solving by adding the ooze to it? Plagy Wee, thanks for the prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. What's up with the 1x Vivien with so many non-creatures? Well, what's the creature count near? I think we're close to 20 creatures, right? There's actually 22 creatures in this deck, which seems like a more than appropriate number for Vivien. I don't know what the math is on that. Code Red, thanks for the prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. I think I want to just hold up Absorb here. Our draw this game kind of resembling more of a Bant Flash deck with Absorb and Frilled Mystic here. Math on 22 creatures, like 85%. Well, Warrant Warden doesn't count as a creature because Vivien doesn't find it. Match 1, game 1, C-Lab. I made some edits to the list that you submitted, Chalky, like I often do with decks that people send in. I think I'm just pretty committed there to using my mana and countering whatever they play. Hoping to dig into a land here, and then we're going to get to start jamming these Krasis for 4 next turn. If they do have a Jadelight Ranger, we're going to be a little bit sad here, just because we're currently in a position to kind of race them, but if they, like, gain 6 and make this walker huge, we're not going to be able to do that. So second walker. Hopefully this walker. All right. I think we're actually in a position where I'm just gonna. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that block means I'm gonna jam this Hydroid Krasis. If they didn't block there, I was gonna hold up Absorb, but that block I think means we basically get to like smell blood in the water, and they don't have a whole lot of anything going on. Let's just like jam. And, like, my opponent is stumbling here. But if you look at, like, what's happened this game, we've played cards this game that have caused them to stumble, right? Like, we countered their Explore creature and their Accelerant. So this attacks for 7. I'm going to play Growth Chamber Guardian and then pass, holding up Absorb. This card. Guardian plus Absorb is sweet, kind of. Because, like, if you play this on 2, then you, like, pass on 3, holding up the Adapt / a Counterspell. Seems pretty reasonable. Yeah, there's no deputies in the 75, which might be a mistake. I could see that potentially being a mistake. So now the question post-board is where does my deck want to be in terms of how big it's going to be? Do I want to try and like pull up, or do I want to go down underneath? I think I like the idea of Baffling End and Disdainful Stroke. Trim these other more expensive removal spells. Maybe trim a Jadelight. This is 7, 8, 9 counter spells. Maybe I just give up the Jadelights and be a little bit more flash-based for the top end of my curve. Can see that being fine. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, the Tristani was theoretically my board for things like Hostage Taker and Thief of Sanity, but looking at how the sideboard's lining up, I'm not sure if that's ideal. You want to get rid of Frilled Mystic? I think Frilled Mystic's one of our better cards here. Having hard counters to stop what they're doing seems pretty important. Do you think we need Druids over Jadelights? Yeah, I think the Druids are valuable because they're going to help us make plays while still holding mana up to counter their spells. Never didn't have it. So the fact that they played a creature here is actually kind of nice for us, because it means when I don't attack with my Llanowar Elf, it's not as painfully obvious that I'm about to Frilled Mystic them. Duress me. Duress me. Yeah, duress this! Get it. Get it. Got it. Good. Kinda snapping off Frilled Mystic on anything here. Because if we snap off Frilled Mystic on even just something like this, next turn I get to play my land and then play Growth Chamber Guardian. Which is nice. Get that farted off. Yep. They missed a land drop again here. I'm going to play and activate this right away, because again, I don't want them to be able to kill this in response, because if they kill this in response, I won't be able to go get a friend here. I like my crab friends. I want them to love me. BJ Roth, thanks for the Prime support. Welcome, welcome. You got a friend in me. So a little bit sad that they like drew a bunch of cards there, but at the same time, this does mean their Jadelight Ranger doesn't really block my Growth Chamber Guardian, which is nice for me. That was arguably the worst draw in my deck, because I don't really want to draw more Growth Chamber Guardians. Incredibly close to the sword. Wonder if there's a finality in my future. Again, just gonna go ahead and pop this off right away. Maybe because I drew the second, there's merit to waiting here to bluff and absorb. Could be merit to bluffing absorb there. Just because, like, I had the second one in my hand should they kill it in response. My chain doesn't die. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little squadron crabs, 4 little, never more than 4 little squadron crabs. Do 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 do. A big boy. Big Krasis. That is an incredibly good draw. Lets me play this. Lets me smack them for 4, because I assume they're trading with one of these. You get to Frilled Mystic. They're... Whoa! No trades is aggressive there. I wonder if they have a finality. If Brawl came to Arena, is that something I would add to my repertoire of streaming? Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to know, and I don't think that's ever coming to Arena, so I'm not really worried about it. The final reprint to Balt, checking in for the 20th month in a row. They wanted to cut the Frilled Mystics. They wanted to never cut the Frilled Mystic, chat. They're beautiful. big, beautiful Frilled Mystics. On the draw. The first Growth Chamber Guardian often dies, the second's not terrible. Absorb could potentially be good against the red deck if we live to get there. How many spots? Yeah, that's an awkward draw. Although I guess they might kill all of these, so, you know. How many spots did I drop overnight? Like 20, Matthew? I think I was like 125 or 130 when I checked earlier. Main deck Banefire. That's interesting. I mean, like, I don't even think I'd hold up Absorb if I drew a land there, but I do wish that we would have hit the land so I could, like, work up to the Teferi and the Tribunal and stuff. Alright, third time's the charm, right? Rude. Okay. We might have been okay. We might have been okay if we hit lands there. Unfortunately, stumbling means we're not going to beat a Phoenix. That was rough. Light of Autumn, Baffling End seems good. Frilled Mystic's probably a little bit slow. Vivien's definitely slow. I think I want Teferi as just a source of card advantage at my top end. Probably don't mind trimming one of these, though. Treble, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Put one Negate in. Seems fine. Someone asked earlier what I think about this deck so far. I don't know. And my one worry is that, kind of like that game you saw there, the first game, we were able to get ahead and stay ahead early. My biggest concern is, does our mix of tap-out elements and instant speed counterspells actually end up working out most games, or is it going to end up just being too clunky? Prime and Tier 1 subs are identical. Alms, I talked about that in the last match. I talked about how I thought originally it would be good against the Hostage Taker matchups, but then when I came to look at it, it probably just shouldn't be in the sideboard. I didn't have room to bring it in there. Would like to absorb your light at the stage, please. Do-do-do. Be-do-do-do. Whoa-ho-ho-ho. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I think I just, and this is again like that awkwardness I was talking about here, like the way the deck is built. We've got this awkward mix of instant speed things and tap out effects. So like here it's like, do I hold up this absorb or do I play Baffling End and like stunt their development on the board a little bit? And I definitely think I need to take their 2-power creature out of play here. That's definitely awkward, especially when we're missing land drops here. And it's like, okay, I guess I play this Incubation Druid. And like, it's funny that we're missing land drops two games in a row here, because if you look at this deck's actually playing 26 lands. which is a pretty incredible number of lands. Rekindling Phoenix, very, very good here against us. I wonder if we'll see him trade both Firebrands here, considering we're missing land drops. They could trade both Firebrands for this Incubation Druid. They could also just, like, attack it and get a point of damage in, because I block one but take a hit from the other. So it depends on how aggressive the opponent feels like being here. How aggro are you? I think that actually ends up working out for us here. I feel like my out to this Phoenix is finding a Teferi and tucking it along with the land or the Conclave Tribunal. So I'm going to be a little aggressive and just shock this in and draw my card. It gains me 1 life back immediately, and then it gains me 4 when I chump block the Phoenix in combat. Knight of Autumn going to kill the treasure map for us at least. We got that going on. They did top a card there with treasure map, which is a little scary. I don't think I can afford to shock this in. Not if they guaranteed wanted to kill my thing, Lilyvap. So, like, if they guaranteed want to take my thing off the table, they just attack with 1. I could read that as they want to guarantee take my thing off the table, and then I just don't block. Like, they're giving me the decision, whereas by sacking both their things, they take the decision out of my hands and definitely get to kill it. Right, they are not stock red aggro. They're more of a mid, like, they're more of like a 1 to 5 deck. Like, they're going kind of big-ish. So I think I actually just adapt this and pass. This leaves me Negate up, and it gives me the ability to play a giant Hydroid Krasis next turn. So they can't kill me aside from Banefire here, and even that's not quite enough to kill me. So I get to negate this, and then I get to untap and Krasis for 6, and go up to 6, and, like, have a blocker. I think we're, like, en route to stabilization here. Like, I have the Krasis, I have this Teferi, I have a Knight of Autumn. If they have a burn spell to finish this off, the Baffling End deals with the Phoenix token.
Keep up the pace.
Not necessarily. So the matches in which Baffling End comes in are the aggro matchups. So I think that makes Seal Away just fine. Or Baffling End just fine. You really want to be able to, like, kill things like Steamkin proactively. Alright, now we're going to close this game out real fast, like.
Quickly.
We could have Teferi'd the token, yeah. But I'd rather draw cards. Why wouldn't I draw a card? Have you ever drawn magic cards before? It's my favorite.
Time for a break.
I mean, like, it's not like the Teferi can't tuck later. I mean, even if they drew spells there at the end, they were probably still dead. I think we were pretty far ahead. Drawing cards while I play Phoenix in Modern, it's kind of great. On the draw especially, I'm going to trim and absorb and bring the last Krasis back in. So I can baby Krasis with a little bit more aggression. This hand's fine. This is probably going to be a good example of why Baffling End is reasonable. Like, we get to just take their creature out right away. Well, they don't have a creature. Well, that's good for us. Get my thing going. Maybe cutting the Absorb is wrong because we saw Siege Gang Commander and Phoenix. Like, how big they're going. Could see that being the case. How dead is this Growth Chamber Guardian on a scale of 1 to dead? Where's he at? Firmly on the dead side of the scale. Got it. Might be right to just jam this again here. If I draw a land next turn, we get to Growth Chamber Guardian with a land up though, which is nice. I have Conclave Tribunal to cover Rekindling Phoenix here, which is beautiful. Lava Runner does have haste. I think I'm going to play this as a 4-3. That might be wrong given the treasure map that we saw. I don't want to play this out because they have a shock over here that they have to play this turn. It could be right to just hold up Warrant for the turn as well. I have been really good at drawing Growth Chamber Guardian. You are not wrong. Oh. I think I just have to hope their last card's a brick. The Siege Gang Commander gets to throw goblins everywhere. It's not going to end pretty for us. Sure. A land that doesn't hurt us here would be great, so I can Growth Chamber and fart it. Wonder if they're going to trade G2 Lava Runner for 3 points of damage. It feels like an okay trade for them on this board. Go. Feel like there's a good chance this Knight of Autumn eats it since they scryed to the top. Man, we are bad at drawing useful lands in this deck. There's so many lands in this deck. We're real bad at hitting them. There's some discussion in chat about Tribunal versus Ixalan's Binding. I do agree with the assessment that we don't have that many creatures. A lot of our cheaper creatures do make mana. That's definitely something that's true. That's an Experimental Frenzy. It's not very good for our hero. Again, seeing some of that kind of awkward tension between our creatures that are wanting us to tap out every turn and these instant speed counter spells. The deck kind of feels like it's being pulled in two different directions. Like, part of it wants to be a tap out creature mid-range deck, and another part of it wants to have instants going on. I feel like there's probably a good chance, like, you could just play Teferi in an Explorer package. Like, get yourself some Wild Growth Walkers and the Explorer Core, and, like, top-end Teferi as card advantage. Might be a better direction to take the Bant Teferi deck in. There's a good chance this Frenzy just kills us with Treasure Cove in play. Am I not dead yet? They can knock me to 2 on this attack. Yeah, mid-range tempo just doesn't really work as an archetype, Chalky. Like mid-range and tempo are at odds. Oh, you know what? I probably should have Wardened and held up Negate there, right? Yeah, that's definitely a mistake. It probably doesn't matter. We're probably dead regardless, but I definitely should have made a 4/4 and then held up Negate. Yeah, Treasure Map plus Frenzy is very good. For sure. Let's try one more with this configuration, but I might tear it down and rebuild as more of a mid-range shell, unless of this awkward flash thing. Someone in chat tried to draw a comparison to a Bant Reclamation mid-range deck, and I don't know what that is. That's not something that I've seen. That's not something that's been putting up tournament results, so I don't really know that I can compare. I don't know what you mean by, like, when you say you're trying to compare it to something like that. Yeah, it could be that you want to be something closer like that, Chalky. I can definitely see that being true. Bant Flash with Reclamation. Yeah, that's not really an archetype in the format, though. If it's a best of 1 deck, I'd believe that, but that's not something I've seen in any of the best of 3 that I've been playing. Or any of the tournament results that I've looked at. Like, this draw here looks like we're suiting up to do pretty well, but again, this is because we're having an aggro draw, not a gates. This could be a matchup where our counterspells could be very good. I mean, there's a... Is this even better than just jamming? It's probably not, actually, right? It's probably just better to, like, leverage them stumbling and kill them. We didn't play Sultai midrange this morning, King, so we didn't get to it at the end of yesterday, and then when I signed off, a bunch of people had bumped other decks up above it. Growth Chamber Guardian is just a very good Magic the Gathering card. It's super powerful. I'm pretty sure these mid-range decks want to cut Krasis in this matchup and just, like, have ways to interact and be aggressive. Because as the game goes long, these types of decks do not beat gates. They just have too much card advantage. Try this. You go down even one more of these and just be as aggressive as possible. Yeah, we'll probably try, I think we're going to try something more just directly focused on being tap-out based after this chalky, which is like a touch of counter magic in the sideboard. Like be green-white splash Teferi. Splash Teferi and counter spells. Having access to counter spells in this format is good, and Teferi's just like a genuinely good card. Yeah, Sheriff, I think that's really going to depend on how much they're willing to manage it. Left unchecked, all large card pools tend to decline towards decks things getting aggressive and efficient, more so than anything else, I think. Just because, like, as card pools get larger, aggressive decks get more cards to optimize, and combo decks have more, there's more different random combo decks that exist. I think I need to mulligan this. I'm going to be doing a Legacy deck tomorrow morning, Wavelink, and then Owling Mine will probably be up on Thursday. Thursday's actually going to be 2 Modern decks. Perfect. So Thursday, Friday is going to be just MTGO, so there'll be 2 or 3 Modern decks on both days. I just moved from Platinum to Mythic using Bant tokens. It's basically green-white, splash Dovin, counters Teferi on the side. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Crinky. Sounds very reasonable. Will there be an owl costume? There will not be. That Thantos fellow, thanks for the Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday wherever you're at. I didn't bottom Incubation. I left it there. Okay, you're gonna be rioting then, Wolfie. Yeah, the owl costume's in my closet. Hey, King Tower. Thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. I'll just have to give Sultai more of a nudge then. Hey, 10 out of 10. Should be up tomorrow then. Alright, I mean, Dub's Frilled Mystic starting on turn 3, backed up by some other counter magic, could let us run away with this. Gates Ablaze is how these decks kind of pick apart what we're doing, and the Frilled Mystics keep them off of that. Orzhov Guildgate, huh? Interesting. How much to make the owl costume mapping? I'm not doing the costume on Thursday. Our numbers are going to be low anyways because the Invitational is going to be going on. Actually, I'm going to shock this in and just pass. So that way I can fart this if they don't give us anything to Mystic. And then once we use this, we can then Jadelight Ranger and get like other stuff going while holding up Frilled Mystic. It could be that I'm just like going too slow here for the sake of holding up counter spells, and like by the time they get going, I'm not going to be able to punch through. No, this is game 2. We beat them game 1. They stumbled and died. I boarded those out because they're not good in this matchup. Nice Magic the Gathering card. 3 mana. Here's my hand. Here's my deck. They named Hydroid Krasis, which is not good in this matchup from our side. Hey, they got to look at our hand, Chad, okay? As someone who really dislikes that card because it's not good most of the time, I love when people get got by it in situations like that. It's like, get out of here. Get out of here. It shows what they named. It says it in a text bubble by the name here. They have double Gates Ablaze, we could still lose this. I'm sure they're gonna have double Gates Ablaze and destroy us to make up for the fact that I just cackled like a hyena. Zal Shrino, thank you for the Prime support, I appreciate it. Yeah, so they paused there, which I'm pretty sure means they have Expansion Explosion here. I'm actually just going to concede the match. I'm kind of off of this build, and we're going to change to another one. I'm going to restart Arena really quick here, because we're almost at the audio bug point. Audio bug. These people are great. Buy their stuff. These people also great. Buy their stuff. I think it's almost time to trim the hair, chat. It's very faded. There's some brown underneath it. Uh-oh. Where's my... Why aren't you coming back, Arena? Reload. King Tower, thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. It'd be possible to play it as the last deck tomorrow. So the problem with trying to save it for the last deck is sometimes other people randomly cut things in, and that's why it didn't get played yesterday, is because it got bumped out from other people cutting things in. Hey, well, thanks for being here, Rhino. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a fantastic week wherever you're at. All right, so what is this deck doing? This Absorb Frilled Mystic package does not seem fantastic. Check in to resub, and Jeff's got a new look. What's going on, Shaman? We've been like this for a little bit. We've been here like for a little over a month now already. Thanks for the 9 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Like, are we just supposed to like jam the base? These are the good green cards package. It feels like that's probably correct. As opposed to like trying to force ourselves into the, what's it called? State of mind, a flashy state of mind. Wonder if Climb would be okay here. Yeah, this is kind of like the core of the Climb package, right? Like we've played a lot of different Climb decks on stream in the past. This is mono green with 2 splashes. I mean, that's how a lot of the decks in this format end up being, is like the base green with 2 splashes. It could be, someone else mentioned Bant Angels. Let me grab the list for that. That could be a better shell too. Time flies when watching decks in Oaklandia. What's going on, Scissor? Something like this might be better. Some amount of Teferi's probably not unreasonable in here. The format's kind of gotten a position where Seal Away could potentially just be better than Baffling End too, which kind of helps with, which kind of works well with Teferi. This random Angel of Grace was a little awkward anyways. Yeah, I don't know, Chalky. Maybe it's just not a good idea. I remember the original idea was Llanowar Elves plus Teferi 2, but I think you're right. I think like once you're playing Llanowar Elves, it's like, well, I might as well play the Explore package because it's the best thing. And that's one of the restrictive things about the current format is like once you're in green, like the current green color in Standard feels a lot like blue in Brainstorm. Once you're like, I'm putting Basic Forest in my deck, all of the sudden you're like, okay, Basic Forest means I'm playing Llanowar Elves, which means I'm playing Jadelight Ranger, which means I'm playing Wild Growth Walker, and all of a sudden, almost all of your green decks have like 16 slots just used up, basically. These are all cards that like automatically fit into the shell. Yeah, maybe we'll just play Sultide today to close things up. The person wanted to see it late in the stream anyways. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. I think I'm gonna retire this one. It just doesn't feel quite cohesive enough. I like the idea that you ended up trying, Chalky, but I really feel like the place we end up going is like, once we have Llanowar Elves, it just like snowballs, and the other places just like end up being worse versions of other things. Yeah, let's just do that. I'm gonna wrap up on Sultai Midrange.